Hey everybody, we just picked up the Irobot Brava Jet M6. This is the largest model in their mop series. We have had so much success with the vacuum cleaner, the i7, that we decided we were going to pick this up and take a chance on it. We had some reservations about it, but we figured, yeah, let's give it a shot. So we're going to unbox this thing. We're just going to jump right into it, see what we got here. Power cord. 5 pads, 1 multi-use wet, 2 single-use wet, 2 single-use dry. The main unit, the dock tray, the dock, instructions and warranty, cleaning fluid sample. And that's it, that's everything. Mine had arrived with a damaged outer and inner box. We can see right here the inner box. We were sure to inspect the contents, so just a minor scuff here on the charging cradle. So we were going to continue plugging in the power. There's a place to wrap around the extra cord. And wrapped around, we're going to seat it right here next to the other Roomba. And this piece locks in just like that. Just want to look at one of these pads right quick. This is one of the washable, reusable pads. This is wet pads. So I'm just going to open it up. And we can see that there's some holes that light could go through to tell what kind of card's in there. Slides right up onto this track and locks in. And I'm just seating it on the cradle to let it charge. I don't know how long it's been sitting in a warehouse. I want the battery to be full before I continue connecting it to the network with my phone and whatnot. I've done this all before with my other Roomba, so there's nothing new here for me. You're just going to select it and get it onto the network. It's pretty self-explanatory. The instructions are straightforward. I'm going to name it. And now it wants me to hold down 2 buttons to identify it. I'm going to do that now. There it is. Update software does everything. Once the update's complete, gives you a little explanation of what it does on the phone. Sort of swipe through that. And on my software of this phone, I can now control both of them. And they're sort of intertwined in their functions. So it's very nice. I'm going to swap out the pad for a dry cleaning pad now. And I'll tell you why. I've already learned that these devices run terrible without a complete mapping run. So I'm going to run a mapping run, and I figured it would be appropriate to use a dry pad to do that mapping run. So I'm going to start it now. And without a map, you have to know that the only thing these things know is where the base station is. Nothing else. The performance is going to be terrible. You never want to attempt to run these to clean your house or the vacuum cleaner to vacuum the house until you have a complete mapping run with a complete map of the house. And this one, just like the other one, it ran terrible and it only did a small section and gave up. This is the only area it did, and it's going around. It looked like it was starting and it was feeling its way around. And then it was like, no, I quit. I'm just going home after it did like 10 square feet. There it is. It's done. But that's fine. I ran the mapping run about 3 or 4 times before it got the entire map of the house. But I was like, what is this, you know? So yeah, they do act a bit quirky until the mapping run is entirely complete. You know you're done with the mapping run when the device has pretty much gone through every single square foot of all the rooms and areas that you're going to want to clean, that you can name those rooms, define the boundaries and the exclusion zones for those areas. The map looks entirely different from the mop, though the outline is the same for the vacuum cleaner because the mop only works on the hard floor and not on carpets, as we see here with an overlay of the vacuum cleaner for the same floor of the house. Fully mapped was set up for a test. I'll put the reusable mop back in. We're going to open up this lid and pull out the container that holds the liquid. Turn the knob here to remove the cap. Comes with a sample of the cleaning solution. The container calls for 2 ounces. There's a 4-ounce bottle. We'll use half. My wife also picked up some 16-ounce bottles as well. We have a standard measuring cup in ounces and a couple extra reusable pads. So we'll add 2 ounces from this bottle, followed by 13 ounces of water, making a combined total of 15 ounces. And then we'll pour all the contents into here, which will bring it right to the top of the container. Then we'll replace the cover, reinsert the entire container back into the unit, push the handle down, and then close the lid. Snap shut. place the device back onto the cradle, and I'm going to immediately do a test run. And this is going to be a custom run to just do the entranceway and return back once it's finished. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some lines that show the borders annotated in red. I'm also going to put one in green, which shows the boundary around the dock area, which it will not go near. It does a sort of a special program for around the dock so it doesn't inadvertently bump into it. And we can see the tracks of wet area left behind as it starts to mop. And we can see that exclusion area of green. This is perfectly normal. I've seen this with the Roomba. And then basically when it does the entire house, it'll just do a special section right before it completes its job around the dock. In case it happens to bump into it, it's not too far away from the dock before it completes its task. And this will come back once it's finished the small area, return to the dock having completed its task, and we'll send it out into another room that has a couple more obstacles so we can make another evaluation.
There have been complaints about tread marks or tire marks on the floors, and this is probably from the tires being brand new. There's a few from its first run.
After subsequent testing, this tire mark issue did go away. Understanding consumption is important given the small container size, so we'll look at that briefly. It's set to use a lot of liquid. We'll see that when it first starts up, it sprays a lot regardless of the setting, and that's to wet the mop. Doesn't matter if it's a lot of consumption or little consumption. But we'll see that in the normal setting, it runs a good 2 seconds of spray for each interval. And we're going to set it now for more conservative setting for extended coverage. Again, the initial spray coming off the dock is going to be the same to wet the mop. That's to be expected. But now we'll see for the subsequent sprays. We'll compare the two together. This is 2 seconds and 1 second. And we've cut the time in half. And I think that's important because the way that this Roomba collects dust automatically, I had kind of wished after I'd used this that this had some sort of reservoir for the fluid. I don't expect it to swap out the mop, but it would have been great if it were able to refill or replenish the fluid the very same way that this is able to pull the dust out of the Roomba and collect it into a bag. I could almost bet that the next model is going to have that. So I'm bringing it into another room, and this room has a couple more angles, has a carpet in the middle, a lot less surface area than a room that wouldn't have a carpet. I'll point out that the red is the borders, and the purple area is an area that should be cleaned by the mop, but simply isn't. I guess more mapping and training will get those areas, but you'll notice that it just never goes into those areas, and there's no reason why. And you'll notice the technique is it'll move forward, it'll determine there's enough area, it'll back up, it'll spray, and then it'll mop that area. And that's just the way that it operates. So forward, back, spray, forward. But we'll see as it comes around, it just never goes into that purple area. I imagine with subsequent training, it'll find that area, just add it to the map. I've only run the mapping program a couple times, so it stands to reason. You'll see this thing it does where it likes to really hug borders as it cleans, as it's doing here by this piece of furniture. Doesn't do that very well around carpets, I found. So carpets kind of bumps into and tries to work its way around. Scheduling between both devices are integrated such that once the vacuum cleaner finishes, the mop can start. We could see that automation is set for a particular time of the day. And here we have both of them are set to clean everywhere, and they're running in tandem. And as for the performance, it does a good job for the daily mopping tasks for the floor. I wouldn't use this to clean up a mess or tie it into a system where it says, I spilled orange juice on the floor, mop this up like the commercial shows. I definitely wouldn't use something like this to clean up milk and have the thing smell nasty after a day. But for regular mopping after the Roomba vacuums the floor, it does a great job to remove footprints and minor stains from the tile, and used every day. There's never a lot of accumulation. There seems to be enough liquid in the bottle when it's set to the setting that I have on low that you could get a couple cleanings on the house before you have to refill it. I would have liked to see like a tower, a reservoir that refills it. That's the only thing I really don't like about it. Other than that, I have no complaints. And that concludes this video on this Braava M6 mop. I hope you found it enjoyable, entertaining, and informative. Hit that like button down below. Helps me out a lot when you do. And hit that subscribe button to be notified when more videos like this come out. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Would you like to reply?